Hello everyone. I'm going to show a small demo on the application of blockchain and IoT technologies to supply chain. The idea has been taken from IBM Institute for Business Value. Here in this diagram we can see the various parties involved in a supply chain network. The supply chains are prime examples of blockchain's potential for transformation that spans industries. Initial blockchain efforts could have quick impacts by transforming even a small portion of the supply chain, such as information used during importing. If import terminals receive data from the bill of lading earlier in the process, terminals could plan and execute more effectively and without privacy concerns. Blockchain could make appropriate data visible in near real time, for example, departure time and weight of containers. Costly delays and losses due to missing paperwork could be avoided. For the demo, I have used Hyperledger Fabric version 1.0. On top of that, we have Hyperledger Fabric Composer. Composer is a recent initiative by Hyperledger project. It allows people to come to a level of abstraction to think in terms of assets, transactions, and participants of a business network, and to model business network and smart contracts using JavaScript. Prior to Composer, we had to go much deeper into the technical details of the Hyperledger Fabric. Composer makes things much easier and simpler. So here we see at the very ground level we have blockchain, Hyperledger Fabric 1.0. On top of that we have Fabric Composer, and on top of that we have business application. For the demo, I have used only few participants: the retailer, who is the importer; the supplier, who is the exporter; the carrier or the shipping company; and the customs at the import terminals. So let us move on to the demo. For this one, I have already created one Hyperledger Fabric network of two organizations, each organization having 2 years. Using the Hyperledger Composer, I have modeled the business network by creating 3 different files. The first file is the model file, the .cto file. It has got class definition of assets, participants, and transactions in the business network, the access control file, the .acl file, and the smart contract written in JavaScript, the logic.js. So let me show you these different files on my disk. So this is our model file. It has got class definition of assets, participants, and transactions. For our case, the asset is shipment. This is our access control file. And this is our logic.js, the smart contract written in JavaScript. So using this model file and the JavaScript smart contract and the access control, I have created one business network archive file that can be deployed to the Fabric network. This is our business network archive file created. So I have used this command composer runtime install to install the composer runtime on top of the running Hyperledger Fabric network. Then finally I have deployed the business network archive.bnf file over the Hyperledger Fabric using the composer network start command and a couple of other commands shown below. And ultimately, when I go to see the Fabric network, I can see there are 4 instances of chain code running over the Fabric network. This means our network, the business network, is up and running. The archive file that we have created, the .bnf file that we have created, that has been deployed over the Fabric network. Now we can start the Composer REST server using this command. Now that our business network created by the Composer is successfully deployed to the Fabric network, we can start the Composer REST server, and we have to provide the business network card for org1 and a number of questions it will ask, and then finally There will be a number of REST APIs exposed using this utility. You can see at this localhost 3000 Explorer, the REST APIs are present. So let's go to the browser. Okay, so here we can see a number of APIs up and running. So let us see the partners. Let me run this one. Currently, we have just modeled our business networks. We have so far not added any shipment or any of the participants. So let us go ahead and add the participants. For this demo, I have created one add business partners.sh, one script written basically in Node.js that is calling those APIs and creating the partners. So let me run this one to create the partners. So I'm running this add business partner.sh. This is the script written in Node.js that is calling the APIs to create the business partners or the participants in the business network. We can see the supplier has been created, the retailer, the customs and the logistics has been successfully created. Let us see these from the browser. Okay, now we can see the participants. The one is the customs, the logistics, the retailer and the supplier has been created successfully. Now let us see if we have any shipment or the asset created for our network. Currently we see there are no shipments. So let us create the shipments. I have created another script to add a couple of shipments. We have shipment 01 created, shipment 02, and 4. Let us see this from the browser. Here we see a couple of shipments have been created, the shipment 01, the shipment 02 and so on. Around 4 shipments I have created. The fact that the shipment or the container can have one RFID transmitter, and once it reaches various destinations like at the port or at the carrier or at the customs or at the terminal, those sensors, the IoT sensors, would be able to read that container and send that information back to our blockchain network, and they can submit a transaction to the blockchain network. So I have simulated this one by using Node-RED. So this is our inject node. In this inject node, suppose this is basically simulating a message from the IoT sensor that, okay, for example, the shipment 01 has arrived at, say, at the import terminal, Chicago import terminal. So once the cargo or the package arrives at the Chicago import terminal, the IoT sensor will sense the data and send this message to the blockchain network. So let us see that how this transaction is being submitted. Let me check this one. Let us deploy this one and inject this one. Yes. I can see this transaction has been successfully written to the blockchain network. So let us see from the browser whether this information has been written to the blockchain. So earlier the shipment status was loaded to carrier, and now from the node read the sensor, it has reached the Chicago terminal. So let's see whether, let's refresh this again. I'll just get the information about all the shipments. Now we see this information arrived at the Chicago import terminal. The status has been changed. So this way, through the IoT sensor, the information could be written to the blockchain.